In our previous lesson, we talked about the coming one world government. We know this government comes into play not because the people want it, but because they believe they need it. We will discuss more about the likely reasons why this one world government comes into existence when we look at the overall end times timeline. However, this one world government, or revived Roman Empire as it is sometimes referred to, does not exist for long as a dictatorship. It quickly evolves into an organization led by 10 rulers. This is first prophesied in Daniel chapter 2, where Daniel is interpreting King Nebuchadnezzar's dream. The dream is about a statue that depicts the various kingdoms that will be ruling subsequent to Nebuchadnezzar. In verses 40 through 43, Daniel explains that the legs of the statue represent the Roman Empire. The feet of the statue represent the revived Roman Empire, which is the one world government that comes into existence shortly before the 7-year tribulation. And the toes of the feet represent the 10 rulers who will jointly rule all the nations of the world through the power of this new government. The second place this is prophesied is in Daniel chapter 7, where Daniel has a vision of 4 beasts. The fourth beast is the Roman Empire that ultimately transforms into the revived Roman Empire. In verse 20, we learn that the beast has 10 horns, which represent the 10 rulers of this new one world government, corresponding to the 10 toes on Nebuchadnezzar's statue. These 10 rulers are also discussed in Revelation chapter 17, verse 12. In verses 8 and 20 of Daniel chapter 7, we are told that there is a little horn that rises up among the 10 horns of the fourth beast. This little horn is the Antichrist and comes into power by overtaking 3 of the rulers during the first half, or 3.5 years, of the tribulation. Since we are talking about pre-tribulation events in this lesson, we will direct most of our discussion to the 10 rulers. The Bible does not explicitly state who these rulers will be or what they will be ruling over. For many years, it has been assumed that the 10 rulers will govern over specific geographic regions or collections of nations, potentially aligning with cultural, economic, or historical boundaries. This is traditionally and historically how kingdoms have been established. This geographic model allows the rulers to tailor governance to fit local customs and needs, thus reducing conflict and increasing effectiveness. Also, having clear geographic boundaries can simplify administrative tasks, from law enforcement to policy implementation. However, since the one world government likely comes into existence from the global outcry of the world's sovereign nations for global leadership, it is highly unlikely they would quickly abandon that idea and return to the previous form of government based on geographic boundaries and cultural similarities. Today, unfolding before our eyes is a second option that previously had never presented itself. This option is more of a thematic model than a regional governance model. With the advent of artificial intelligence, advancing technologies, and our undeniable trajectory toward globalization, I feel this thematic model, which is based on related disciplines, has a stronger likelihood than the regional model, which is based on geographic boundaries, for several reasons. First, there will be global challenges that require global solutions. Many of the most pressing issues today, such as climate change, cybersecurity, and global health, require coordinated responses that are not confined to regional boundaries. Thematic leaders, each with expertise in a specific global issue, could ensure that policies are both globally coherent and expertly guided. Second, it leverages efficiency and specialization. By focusing on specific areas of governance, leaders can develop deeper expertise and more effectively manage resources related to their particular domain. This specialization can lead to more innovative solutions and more targeted policy interventions. Third is the way it interconnects economies and technologies. With the rise of digital economies and multinational corporations that cooperate across borders, economic policies might be more effectively managed by leaders who oversee economic issues globally rather than regionally. And fourth, it provides overwatching surveillance and data privacy. In the realm of digital communication and surveillance, policies need to be uniform across nations to be effective. A thematic leader in charge of digital governance could ensure that data privacy standards and surveillance regulations are consistent and uphold certain ethical standards globally. So how would this thematic model work? The thematic leadership concept could be structured around critical global domains that require specialized oversight and strategic coordination. Speculatively speaking, there are 10 potential areas of thematic leadership, each focusing on a significant aspect of global governance that would fit well with a one-world governing authority. Each ruler would be a king over their domain, ruling all nations through global regulations, standards, rules, and reporting accountability. The 10 domains would likely be similar to these: economics and finance, technology and cybersecurity, health and human services, environmental protection, education and culture, defense and security, human rights and social equity, trade and commerce, energy and infrastructure, and space and extraterrestrial affairs. Each of these thematic domains would be ruled by a single individual who is considered king of their area of expertise. Let's take a look at each of these for just a moment. Economics and finance. This position oversees global financial stability, banking regulations, monetary policy, and economic crisis management. This leader would coordinate international efforts to ensure economic sustainability and manage global financial crisis issues. Technology and cybersecurity. This person would be responsible for setting standards for technological development, ensuring cybersecurity across borders, and managing the ethical implications of emerging technologies like AI and quantum computing. Health and human services. This manages global public health strategies, pandemic preparedness, healthcare technology, and universal health policies to ensure equitable access to healthcare services worldwide. Environmental protection. This focuses on global environmental policies, climate change mitigation, sustainable development, and natural resource management to address the urgent challenges of climate change and environmental degradation. Education and culture. This leader would work to ensure that educational and cultural policies support global understanding and cooperation. Defense and security. This person coordinates international security measures, peacekeeping operations, and defense policies to maintain global peace and security, including the management of autonomous weapons systems. Human rights and social equity. This person ensures that global governance adheres to universal human rights standards, addresses issues of inequality, and promotes social justice across nations. Trade and commerce. This person manages international trade agreements, global commerce regulations, and fair trade practices to facilitate economic growth and ensure fair and equitable trade relationships. Energy and infrastructure. This one oversees the global energy policies, infrastructure development, and sustainable energy initiatives to ensure reliable and sustainable energy sources for all nations. Space and extraterrestrial affairs. This person regulates activities related to space exploration, the utilization of extraterrestrial resources, satellites, and potential defense implications, ensuring that space remains a domain used for peaceful purposes and global benefit. Each leader in these domains would not only manage their specific areas, but also collaborate with each other to ensure a holistic approach to global governance. This model encourages synergy between different sectors, critical in a highly interconnected world where the impact of decisions in one area can have profound effects on others. The leaders themselves would likely come from a variety of sources, such as political leaders who hold significant power and influence in their existing regions or countries and have demonstrated their ability to manage and control masses of people. CEOs and executives of large multinational corporations, especially those with expertise in artificial intelligence and technology. Educational leaders such as university presidents and people in the education sector who can shape public opinion and policy through research and thought leadership. Financial leaders in banking and finance sectors who could manage a one-world currency system, the tokenization of assets, and handle the distribution of equity and manage global trade, transactions, and wealth. Owners and executives of major media corporations who control the flow of information and can shape public perception, control media narratives, and promote the agenda of the one-world government. Heads of global health organizations, including heads of organizations like the World Health Organization, to manage global health policies, control responses to health crises, and promote public health initiatives aligned with the one world government's objectives. Influential people in environmental science and policy who can develop and implement global environmental policies addressing climate change and sustainability in alignment with the one world government's goals. Heads of major religious organizations who are influential leaders of large religious groups and can sway large populations to promote religious unity and support the establishment of a one-world religion that aligns with the one-world government's ideology. Leaders of significant military forces or coalitions who can provide military support and enforce the policies of the one-world government, ensuring stability and security. Integrating leaders from various influential sectors would make the one world government more robust and comprehensive, leveraging expertise and control across all critical areas of global society. This multifaceted leadership approach aligns well with the idea of a local governance system that extends beyond traditional political and historical geographic boundaries. Again, speaking hypothetically, after the start of the tribulation, the three divisions which would give the Antichrist the greatest power and control over the world, such that he could control the things needed to force the other rulers to submit to him, would be these: technology and cybersecurity. This domain provides the technological backbone for global surveillance and data control, essential for monitoring the activities of citizens and suppressing dissent. Control over AI and cybersecurity would allow for an unprecedented level of oversight and manipulation of information, crucial for enforcing global ideology. Defense and security. Control over global military forces and defense systems would enable the Antichrist to project power, suppress uprisings, and maintain order, thereby solidifying his rule. He would also have the authority to deploy peacekeeping forces to stabilize regions or enforce directives, effectively using military might to compel obedience and manage geopolitical dynamics. The third area of control would be economics and finance. By directing global economic policy, financial systems, and trade regulations, the Antichrist could exert tremendous influence over nations and individuals alike. Economic leverage is a powerful tool for compelling national and individual compliance. His control over resources, including food and energy, could be used to reward compliance or punish dissent, directly influencing the livelihoods of billions. By exploiting surveillance and data analytics, the Antichrist could identify weaknesses, scandals, or secrets of the other leaders, and use this information to undermine their positions or coerce them into compliance. Through control of cybersecurity, the Antichrist could influence global financial systems to his advantage, potentially destabilizing the economies under the control of rival leaders, thereby increasing their dependence on his leadership and his technology. If he could gradually centralize critical infrastructures, like energy grids, financial networks, and communication hubs, under his direct control and oversight, he could increase the other leaders' dependency on his division for those essential services. Remember, Daniel 7 verse 7 describes this fourth kingdom as terrifying and dreadful and exceedingly strong. It has great teeth. It devoured and broke in pieces and stamped what was left with its feet. It was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. The one world government with its 10 rulers will come into existence before the start of the tribulation. The world will not be the utopian life of abundance many are hoping for. God has already told the church the world will go from bad to worse, and evil will increase. Christians are headed for perilous times. Will you be prepared for what is coming?